Hey, what's up, guys? This is Cody the Coin Raptor coming at you with another Bitcoin episode. And as I'm doing this episode right now, I'm noticing that Bitcoin is falling and it's at about the 78,900 level. And we've only just seen in the past day or so that Bitcoin has really started to fall because Bitcoin is actually holding up pretty well. The broader indexes, the markets, not doing particularly well. You take a look at the NASDAQ, down about 19% year to date. You look at the Bitcoin price, and that was down about 15 or so percent. If you could do a quick refresh, it's been falling here, but it's down, about 15%. So it's held up a little bit better than the NASDAQ. And so now we get ourselves in a situation where Bitcoin is actually starting to follow the NASDAQ a little bit. And we're firmly in the load the boat area of support here. And then below that, of course, you have the ultimate support level that I would say it's very unlikely that I still think it's very unlikely that Bitcoin will actually come down to this region. I think that's from about 73,000 to about 66. But if we do see it happen, it'll probably make a quick wick and then a strong bounce off of that level. But right now we're in the load the boat region, and I think that it's very possible that Bitcoin will actually come back down to maybe about 74K in the near term, because right now everything is selling off. It's selling off hard. Bitcoin expects to be the digital gold. It's expected to be a safe haven for your assets, but it is still a volatile asset. I do think Bitcoin will be digital gold, and I do think that Bitcoin will come out on the other end much, much higher than it is right now. But one of the reasons why Bitcoin's been falling is because we actually hit this pocket of liquidity right here at about 81,150 and about $121 million worth of this liquidity. It fell right through it. And as a result, you had a number of longs that had to liquidate. And so now we're starting to get this kind of panic selling going on here, forced liquidations. This is a level that's held for some time, and now it's actually starting to break down a little bit. This is one of the reasons why Bitcoin has fallen so much today. And on the other side here, you can see about $121 million worth of shorts sitting here at about $85,000. So if Bitcoin does go back up near that 85K region and pushes above it, we could see these guys get liquidated in a hurry. If you take a look at the Bitcoin options, you can see here, very interesting what we have on the 25th of April, the end of April. We have $4.6 billion worth of options set to expire. Again, mostly call options. And there are some significant puts, though, I'll say for certain here. If we go ahead and take a look at that region here on the 25th of April, we can see that the max pain price is sitting at about 86,000. Now, note that this is significantly higher than where we are currently with the Bitcoin price sitting at about 79,000. You're looking at maybe, an 8-9% potential upside if you believe the max pain price. If you believe that Bitcoin will go towards this max pain price by the end of the month. And I do think that's actually very possible because we still have, about 20 or so days left until this options expiry hits. But just know that there are significant puts in the system right now. We're talking about maybe 70K. There's a huge amount sitting here, about 70K, about almost $300 million worth of puts sitting at about 70,000. And on the other side, you have a large amount, 300 million, sitting at about $10,000, the strike price for that one, or sorry, $100,000, the strike price for this one here. So Bitcoin's kind of like right in the middle between these two, and so I do think it's more possible that you go towards that 86K by the end of the month. Now, Bitcoin has seen significant outflows from spot ETFs. Spot ETFs have for the past couple of weeks, they've actually increased. And then this last week, now they're starting to decrease, about $172 million worth of outflows for the spot ETFs, for ETFs like IBIT or for like FBTC, for instance. This is really kind of a weird period right now with Bitcoin when it comes to seasonality, because normally April tends to actually be a pretty good month for Bitcoin, but we're seeing a lot of negativity in the space. This is currently a red month for Bitcoin, but coming up in May, it looks a little bit nicer normally for Bitcoin before we hit into July, and July is kind of more or less the same. June's more or less the same, and July is just a little bit better. But normally, when it comes to July, you're sitting at maybe a 7% increase on the average and an 8% increase on the median. However, for June, it's basically flat, And for May, coming up here this next month, this is normally a strong month for Bitcoin, along with April, traditionally a strong month for Bitcoin. Average for April, the gain is about 12%. Average for May is about 8%. But we'll see, because there's a lot of talk about tariffs and the turmoil in the market right now, right? This is just kind of a day that you just kind of stick your head in the sand, forget about it, and just buy, and then just come back, a couple of years later and see where things are. This is not financial advice, obviously. Go ahead and take a look at your Bitcoin exchange reserves. These continue to go lower and lower and lower, even after we saw this massive amount of drama coming from the tariffs. We're still seeing the Bitcoin reserves go lower and lower and lower. Now, as a reminder, this is the total number of coins held in exchanges, and we're seeing right now that it's sitting at about 2.4 million Bitcoin on the exchanges currently, and this is down from about 2.7 million Bitcoin on the exchanges back in December. So we're still starting to see significant demand for Bitcoin as people are buying Bitcoin. People like this whale here. We have this whale wallet currently number 7 that just now today bought 4,000 Bitcoin. So this is something that I've been tracking. This whale has been stacking sats like crazy, and they will probably continue to buy even more Bitcoin. Now, this is a whale, as you guys recall, this is the whale I've been tracking for the past couple of weeks, and they've been making serious Bitcoin buys. And they had one huge sale back in the New Year's Eve of last year. So this is a whale that definitely knows how to take profits. They know how to trade. They know how to stack when they need to stack. So this is very interesting to watch. If you guys are interested, the address is up here. This is whale wallet number 7. And then, of course, you have people like Michael Saylor and Strategy. They're actually going and buying significant Bitcoin as well. They bought 15,000 Bitcoin, okay, at about 87K. So they can, MicroStrategy and Michael Saylor continue to buy Bitcoin, regardless of the price, and average higher and average higher and average higher. Now, I do expect that they're going to continue to buy Bitcoin, especially if we get into Monday and the price falls even more. Now, what's interesting to note here is that if Bitcoin does fall below that 76K region that we reached earlier back in March, then you could potentially see it heading down to 74. And then maybe that wick that I talked about in the ultimate support, you could see it head down to the mid 60s. So watch out out there. Make sure you guys are paying attention to this. Now, one final thing I have to say is that if you take a look at the weekly on the super trend right now, it's still flashing a buy. So I'm not particularly concerned about Bitcoin for the long term, but we are starting to show a couple of cracks here and there with the Bitcoin price. I do think long term we're going to be much, much higher, especially by the end of the year. I think this is going to be seen as a great buying opportunity for me. Again, not financial advice. Do your own research. But if you're a long term thinker, you like Bitcoin, okay? Leave a comment below and let me know what you guys are up to. I have not bought any Bitcoin, but I have been buying the IBIT ETF as well. Let me know if that's something you guys are interested in, the ETF, spot ETFs. If not, leave a comment below, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.